They wrote it in the laws, ink still bake. Say it's God's will, say it's life they protect. But they ain't the ones feeling pain or neglect. From Texas to Georgia, they set the trap. Rights roll back, they set the trap. Rights roll back, they set the trap. Rights roll back while they smile and clap. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. This ain't pro-life, it's control and shame. They don't care if she's gone, just playing a game. Keep her hooked to machines, cold and still. Just a vessel to them, not a human with will. No consent, no voice, no chance to resist. Just laws in place, written with a clenched fist. Hospitals scared, judges playing God. Bodies ain't temples, just stay on pods. Gilead's here, this is true. Hey MAGA fools, they'll come for you too. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Bands in the dark, they don't care who it kills. Stacking courts while they strip out all of your wills. But we'll fight back, march loud, burn bright. Cause this ain't the end, it's the start of the fight. Gilead's here, ain't no grace. And those leopards are coming to eat your face. So I'm gonna jet, see you later. I'm not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator. Not gonna be a baby incubator.
He said nobody who healthcare could be so complicated. The Obamacare debate was 6 months litigated. Years of med school debt got capitalized. Insurance claim forms so high they nearly capsized. But he wouldn't know the frustration of trying to get prior authorization. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the doctors, the lawyers, the CBO crew. Oh, 30,000 pages of ready review. It wasn't a big secret, we knew. Obama deported, but the porter-in-chief is what La Raza retorted. Obama went after the violent folks and felons, drunk nabbed the dishwashers and people picking melons. But Donald's argument shows that he's not very bright. If Obama made some wrongs, 2 wrongs don't make a right. We knew. He asked who knew a virus could be so contagious. Virologist blinked at someone so outrageous. He was surprised at how many countries existed. No wonder when the virus spread, either one who missed it spread a map, slit red in every deadly hue. World Health Memo said we already knew. Everybody knew. Oh, the whole world knew. Oh, the lab coats, the leaders, and we were with the flu. Oh, the nations of the world, more than 192. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. You unveiled our oxygen like contraband air. Right 6 there. You sat down, claiming to discover chairs. War called money was his big surprise. Iraq has oil, can you believe your eyes? He said, we are divided, a surprise to no one thinking. And he was most surprised a Republican was Lincoln. Everybody knew, the whole world knew, the Christians, the Muslims, atheists, and the Jews. Like being shot, they have animals at the zoo. It wasn't a big secret. We knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew.
Gather round, everyone, and I'll tell you a tale about an orange-faced buffoon who should be in a jail. When people say he's done something that goes beyond the pale, he will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, to say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, you'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes,
not for peers. What they call treason, if Joe's the name, is patriotism when Donald's to blame. Had Biden done it, I don't flip. Had Biden done it, phone numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd shout no way. But Trump did it, so it must be okay.
A self-proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water. They're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But Liberal Dan will see us flow. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk comes the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason. Unmasking hypocrisy, the truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. 'Cause Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite. Liberal Dan Radio, talk on the left, that's right. Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right.
And welcome back to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. To join the conversation, just join us in either of chats. For some reason, the Botrix isn't loading. I don't know if that's just because the images aren't there or what. I don't know, or people need to type some more, I guess. Let's just put a test and see if it works. And let's misspell test too while we're at it. Anyway, shouts out to 9 Inch Toenails on a 10-watch streak over on Twitch. CSL gonna raid soon. Excellent. Aaron Jolie or Vilby over there on Twitch, over on YouTube. Again, Aaron and Jolie there. Jeff from just north of Uranus. Troll Slayer. Who else? Steve from across the pond.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
To save the cheerleader, save the world. R.I.P. Hayden. That was crazy news to hear. It's a little shocking. I don't know if we know what happened yet, but holy crap. Let's see. Steve goes, I didn't make a title screen for today. Steve goes, it would have been yesterday's news. He would have had to change it last minute. I normally make it last minute, so that's the thing. I usually make it like 10, 15 minutes before the show starts, and I just forgot. So good to see you, Woke Mike. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why this isn't working. Let me see if I could fix the chat thing real quick while we're am I in the right window? I think I'm in the right window. Yeah. Log in with YouTube. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. No, that's not what we want. I don't think we want the widgets one. Chat overlay. Copy. Properties. And paste. Doesn't seem to be working still. So, very strange. Let's see, Twitch, YouTube. I don't need Kick. Pop in. Hide all messages. 205. Let's just go ahead and delete the whole thing. Let's delete it. And then we can copy this again. And then add it back in again. No, add source. We want a browser. And we should want that more low, but it's still not showing up. That's very weird. There just must be a problem with it. Anyway, so raid incoming. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you, Aaron, for letting me know. Hey, Molly. Good to see you. Hey, Petrazi. I don't know if I said hello to Mike. Sean Tuna. Good to see you as well. Again, I apologize. Hey, Jen. Good to see you. Welcome to the Sparklers coming in on Twitch. There we go. Now we're seeing it. There's some stuff at least coming in from Twitch. Tammy goes, panty raid. Or that deserves a...
Oh, my.
So thank y'all so much. Appreciate you. And there's Steve on from there. I guess I fixed it finally. So here we go. We finally have the chat working just in time for the Sparklers, at least the Twitch Sparklers at the moment to show up. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll wait to talk about everything until everybody comes in over on YouTube as well. But thank y'all, everybody. Squiggy, Tammy. Wait, wrong dorm? Or maybe it's the right one. You never know. Let's see, dude. I get to meet Martha Wells, who wrote Murderbot Diaries again this week. That's awesome, Pam. Good to see you. Thank you for joining again. Quesadilla. I don't know if I said hello to Quesadilla, but I did. Not doing it again if I did. Yeah, I know. Somebody actually used a Revenge of the Nerds meme on me the other day, or actually earlier today. So shocking, you know, because I am a nerd and everything. So we're at full mod capacity. Yes, exactly. Please make sure. There you go. There's the Orb Vroomer, and there's the House Sparks. Slava Ukraini, Bad Mac. Thank you for joining. Appreciate y'all for coming in. If let's see. Just put this right here real quick. Welcome, Sparklers. Please remember to like and subscribe. Steve. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Here they come. And then we're going to pin that. And again, please make sure to smash that like, hit subscribe, and help, because it helps the algorithm, and Al Gore needs more rhythm. And if you want the Al Gore rhythm shirt, you can always go to Liberal Dan Radio store. Good to see you, Crazy Insane Alien. Nevitz to Forever, thank you so much. Good to see you, Andrea. Thank you again. Good to see you, Ali Osher. Here comes the Lambda, only 3 foot tall. So, hello, Roxanne. Good to see you. Trying to see what else. Been so long. Aaron says, been so long. Brenda, good to see you as well. All right, we will, as people are coming in, again, make sure to smash that like button over on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch and you happen to have a YouTube account, go to liberaldanradio.com, which is the link to the YouTube channel, and we will, and it'll help me gain subscribers. We're trying to grow a little bit. So there's some minor headlines to start. Alyosha just sent me an email. I'll have to check in a second. We've got physicists at CERN Large Hadron Collider.
Oh my.
No, that's hadron, not the other way around. Accidentally turned lead into gold during high-energy particle experiments using an intense electromagnetic field from near-miss lead-ion collisions to knock 3 protons out of the lead nuclei, transforming them into gold. So all this time, alchemists have been trying forever and ever and ever to turn lead into gold, and then the scientists did it by accident. Proton difference. A lead atom has 82 protons, while a gold atom has 79. So if once you knocked out those 3 protons, you were able to get gold. Now, it's microscopic. It's about 89,000 gold nuclei per second, totaling a mere 29 picograms, 29 trillionths of a gram over multi-year runs. So you're not getting rich running the Large Hadron Collider if you are trying to get that way, right? Anyway, thank you, David, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Good to see you, Susie. Yeah, and now we have lab-grown diamonds as well. Now, if they can actually turn lead into gold on a more larger scale, then the price of gold will plummet, and all of those people trying to shill, those, hey, sell gold things. The conservative radio show I listen to a lot of the times for show prep, although it's humorous watching them trying to justify and or just considering just not supporting Trump anymore because of all of the stuff that he does. I'm like, where is your line? But man, if you could, all those gold chillers, whatever, I never really understood. Like, he had on as a guest the other day, I guess one of his advertisers, and they were talking about how, gold is a hedge against the market and it's such a great investment and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there like, if gold is such a great investment, why are you selling it? The only people I could maybe understand selling some of it would be, for example, the people who are mining it and who need to recoup some of that for the, to cover the salary of the and the other costs that come with mining operations to give them, profit to live on or whatever. I can understand why they're selling gold, but they're probably selling gold to people who like wholesale gold. They're probably not even selling gold on the retail market. These people are selling gold like on the retail market, and yeah, I just don't get that whatsoever. I mean, I understand that sometimes you may, gold, can have value and maintain value, whatever. But again, why are you selling it if it's such a great thing to buy? You should be buying it if it's such a great thing to buy, not selling it. So, yeah, Quesadilla goes, accidental alchemist. Yeah. Alyosha goes, yeah, but the gold standard ended in what, 1975? Exactly. It wouldn't hurt our economy necessarily because of the gold standard, but it would, man, all those people buying up gold from all these deals. Oh, you could do great with your investments. You could roll your 401k over into gold, yada, yada, yada. So it would just kind of just blow all their shit out of the water if you could turn lead into gold. Maybe that might make the price of lead go up. I don't know. Or maybe the people in Flint, Michigan can have, golden water instead of lead water. I don't know. Water Goddess goes, because they want to buy it with your money and not theirs and keep part of the profits for doing nothing. There you go. That's a good explanation as to why they're doing it. Now, so just go buy gold from somebody who's going to sell for the cheap if you want to buy some gold, right? So, I can understand if you need to liquidate some assets or something, yeah, but I can't imagine people are liquidating assets that much. But yeah, it makes total sense, Water Goddess. Absolutely. Otis George says they bought it back 15 years ago. Perhaps, and maybe they are trying to make a return on the investment or whatever, but again, I don't know. So then, let's see, what do we got? Looking all over for my notes. So then you had Pee Wee Herman. Donald Trump called Senator Ossoff Pee Wee Herman after hearing, I guess, what Senator Ossoff had to say at a campaign spot. Now, Senator Ossoff is doing a great job of going after Pee Wee Herman, and I would love for his retort to be, well, at least Pee Wee Herman, a.k.a. Paul Rubens, only touched himself in public, as opposed to Donald Trump, who was found civilly liable for grabbing E. Jean Carroll in public without consent. So, you know, that would be a great comeback for him to make. And maybe somebody who supports him, you know, who knows him, will listen to the show and be like, that's a great comeback line, Senator Ossoff. Speaking of E. Jean Carroll, the Supreme Court on Monday morning turned down President Trump's request to reconsider the justice's denial of review in a civil suit brought by journalist E. Jean Carroll, which yielded a $5 million verdict against the president. The announcement came as part of the second of 3 scheduled summer order lists. Consistent with its general practice, the court did not provide any explanation for its decision to deny Trump's petition. The court rarely grants such petitions. Indeed, it has not done so since 2018. Summer order lists normally serve as an opportunity for the justices to clear out some of the pending requests for action, that, you know, particularly petitions for rehearings that accrue between the end of June and early July, when they hold their final conference before the summer recess. And in late September, when they return and hold the so-called long conference. So E. Jean Carroll, as we all know, filed the lawsuit at the center of the dispute in 2022. She alleged in 1996 Trump had sexually assaulted her in a dressing room in a New York department store. And then in 2022, after she went to the public with her assault allegations, he went ahead and defamed her. So Donald Trump is not able, apparently, to get those, funds overturned. So I guess he's going to have to catch up with his payments. Anyway, let's go ahead and, Water Goddess says, Ossoff looks effing presidential in my opinion. Absolutely. I mean, he looks much more presidential than Donald John Trump. So, Pinky is what Trump called him. Trump would be more akin to Pinky, but who would be the brain in that administration? Gee, brain, what are we doing all night? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Pinky, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think so, brain, but burlap chafes me so. Anyway, hey, James from Colorado. Good to see you. Good to see you. Leave me alone, Mike. Stephen Sayers. Dean, thank you all for joining. Appreciate y'all. I got 151 viewers and only 37 likes. Please make sure to smash that like button. And then the patriarchy. So, yeah. So then Donald Trump is... Let me pull this image up here, because we definitely want to see this image. Let's make it a little bigger. Based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I'm not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. These exercises are not only costly, with much of these costs paid for by the United States, as usual, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it was too late to cancel, I have instructed Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I'm sure they was not unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. I almost did his thing. I almost did this thing.
Islamic Republic of Japan.
I'm so used to making fun of him of saying
Islamic Republic of Japan.
It was hard for me to not say the Islamic Republic of Iran correct. And they said, no thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah. Somewhat unrelated, absolute, and then a question mark. Clearly, it was related. Clearly, he is canceling these exercises in favor of Kim Jong-un and his buddy, who he wrote love letters to. You know, just like we say in the song, had Biden done it.
Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, whole numbers would flip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play, but Trump did it, so it must be
So yeah, if Joe Biden had said we're not going to do military exercises with North frickin' Korea, he would have absolutely been criticized by the right. I mean, we are still technically at war with North Korea. There has been no official declaration of peace. There's an armistice, so there's no active fighting, but we haven't actually ended the war. So if we're still at war with North Korea, that means that they're the enemy. Remember when North Korea was part of the axis of evil? Right? Remember that whole thing? Remember North Korea was evil? Russia was evil? Iraq was evil? You know, all the other countries that were evil, Iran, whatever. So now all of a sudden Donald Trump cozies up to the evil countries because that's who he supports because he's evil. But Donald Trump doing this is giving aid and comfort to the enemies of the United States. That's treason. We have a treasonous president who is not going to have military exercises with our ally. And they are literally, by treaty, allies with us. And under the Constitution, I know Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, doesn't understand the Constitution, and all the MAGA conservatives wipe their ass with the Constitution as single-ply toilet paper. It's probably why they're so irritated so much, because you got to use two-ply. But yeah, that is law. Like, it is the law of the land that they are our ally, and he's favoring North Korea over South Korea because South Korea won't help him with his misguided, stupid, ridiculous, unnecessary military exercise or excursion, as he's military excursion. I love military excursions. They're great. But yeah, this is ridiculous, unnecessary, costly war in Iran. Because South Korea is like, I ain't gonna fucking help you with that shit. We don't want any part of this bullshit. Y'all have lost lives for over a meaningless war that you said was not needed last year because last year you supposedly took out Iran's nuclear capabilities. So, yeah, Donald Trump has given aid and comfort. Any congressional Republican who is actually worth any amount of salt should be like, you know what, he's aiding and abetting an enemy. This is excuse to get him impeached. But they won't do it because you have a significant amount of the Republican voting base, of the Republican primary base, who will go against you if you dare challenge Donald Trump. Because they are his God, or he is their God, and, they worship him more than Jesus. So, yes, Otis says, obliterate is the word. Absolutely. Big hook. The real worry is that Trump will use nuclear to force Iran's compliance. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. Because Marjorie Taylor Green, old Large Marge, even though she resigned, she decided that she was going to get back, to keep commenting on politics. I mean, if she wanted to stand up against Trump, she should have stayed in the Congress to stand up against Trump. But again, according to USA Today, former Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Green says the Trump administration is considering possible nuclear actions during strategy meetings on the Iran conflict. Green resigned from the House of Representatives in January before finishing a full term. Despite her seat being filled with MAGA supporter Clay Fuller in a special election in May, Green has stayed vocal on political issues, including criticizing the president and his administration repeatedly over the course of the last 8 months. Green has been a strong opponent of the Iran war, joining forces with Thomas Massie and Tucker Carlson. Number one goal is and always Donald Trump says the number one goal is and always will be that Iran cannot have in any way, shape, or form a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He said that on Truth Social this morning. In a statement to USA Today, Marjorie Taylor, or the White House called her Marjorie Quitter Green because we have a kindergarten in the administration who just, loves to do a bunch of name calling because they can't be clever and think of any other actual rebuttals as to why she's wrong. Although they say she was completely out of the loop. I mean, I don't know if it was Trump that actually said it or not. It wasn't. I guess it still might have been, our press secretary, because I think she's leaving at the end of the month. I couldn't get out of there fast enough if the president put my life at risk, right? So Green goes, I'm not speculating, I know. So on Twitter, she goes, they are discussing using nuclear weapons in Iran in strategy meetings. Yes, you read that correctly. It's real. I'm not speculating, I know. And it's pure evil. The last time a nuclear weapon was used was August 6th and 9th of 1945 on two cities in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, yeah. There's more on that. Vaporizing people at ground zero, and the total deaths reached 214,000 by the end of the year from severe burns and trauma. But the extreme suffering continued for the Japanese people for the radiation sickness, skyrocketing cancer rates, and generational birth defects. Not to mention wiping out all means of their economy. And suffering was so great that all of humanity vowed never again. Trump and his men were told by our own intelligence that Iran was nowhere near creating a nuclear weapon. But then Israel said the same line it's repeated for decades, Iran is only weeks away. So we bombed anyways, killed their leaders and innocent little children in a school, and Iran had controlled the Strait of Hormuz ever since and punished the region for their part in it. And now our government is one actually discussing lowering the nuclear threshold in order to use nuclear weapons against Iran, even though Trump claims he won the war like 40 times and says that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz. Trump promised no more foreign wars, but may actually be the one who delivers a nuclear holocaust that would likely drag the entire world into a major conflict, economic depression, and mass human suffering we've never seen in our lifetimes, and maybe throughout history. People need to speak out and boldly stop this insanity. America is not untouchable, and when that happens, everyone, and I do mean everyone, will hold all of those in leadership right now fully responsible for the rest of human history. Do not use nuclear weapons and stop this war now. So anyway, that's kind of like what she sounds like, right? But at the end of the day, holy crap. I'm going to say, why can't more Republicans be more like Marjorie Taylor? It's very hard for me to say it. Green. Like, holy shit. Imagine, there's all these, all the videos from back in the day. Like, I never liked Reagan when I was a kid, never liked Bush, still don't. But you listen to them talking about immigration, and they sound like at least they have some sort of compassion and some sort of heart there. Barely, but there. Marjorie Taylor Green, scumbag. I mean, apparently she's heard at least one of my shows, according to Joe Gibson. But, and apparently she liked the show. So Liberal Dan Radio can be Marjorie Taylor Green's favorite leftist podcast, right? So, but yeah. James says, how many times does it have to be brought up? How the fuck can Trump use a nuke without military compliance? He does not have a button he can simply push to launch a nuke. I mean, he'd like to think so. And apparently they took the nuclear football away from him because he really wanted to, I guess, nuke them at that point. So, yeah, see, Mike's Organic Videos, even a broken clock is right twice a day. MTG is batshit crazy, but she's not wrong about this. I still don't trust her. Exactly what my words would be exactly. That's the 30,000 foot view on it. She's terrible, she's horrible, but she's dead on ball is accurate on this one. It's an industry term. And also the fact that, none of these other Republicans seem to have a spine, although it would have been nicer if she would have kept her spine in the House. Unless somebody threatened her. I don't know. Maybe somebody threatened her, and that's why she felt she had to quit. I don't know. But it's just bizarre that, we have to start looking at Marjorie Taylor Greene as one of the less evil Republicans. I should put it that way. One of the ones who are less evil than the other ones who are currently doing that. Let's see. Water Goddess. I think the reason she resigned instead of stayed because they threatened to charge her for insider trading on Liberation Day. Remember, she told everyone her financial advisor just bought the dip. Maybe. Let's see. Jen says she never paid back her PPP loans. It was time to cash out. She knew she wouldn't get a pardon. Water Goddess, I think she would be worse if they hadn't threatened her. I think she signed into Epstein's list. They threatened to charge her with their SEC for buying the dip on Liberation. Let's see. Ali Osher. Beavis and Butthead laughing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, no, she's just selfish enough to just get out the way. Fair enough. And Susie goes, yes, General Kane left the briefing room furious with Keg's death and Dinky 2 dolls. Yeah, I mean, one of these days, the military is going to have to be like, you know what, this is enough. You've violated the law enough. You need to be arrested. Now, it won't be Hegseth doing it because Hegseth, kisses Trump's ass, and, Donald Trump, they wash each other's back, I guess, apparently. I don't know. But, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, the one point I did want to bring up on the other side, I'm back on the Korea thing. On the South Korea thing, Donald Trump said that it cost way too much money to be able to do the military exercises. Now, the computer-simulated Freedom Guardian exercise priced by the Pentagon about roughly $14 million. So $14 million is a lot to you and me, but to the government, not so much. We spend annually about 3.4 to 4.3. So let's just say $4 billion annually on our military presence in South Korea, because they're our allies. So what percentage of $4 billion is 14 million? 0.35%. Not 35%, but 0.35%. 0.35%. That's how little money Donald Trump is freaking out over. Now, to Donald Trump, the 14 million also shouldn't seem to be a lot, but he'll say that a molehill is a mountain if it makes people support him, and then he'll turn a mountain into a molehill if the mountain will hurt him. So, MJ Daniels, our job to give the military better civilian leadership this November. Unfortunately, the only way that happens with the civilian leadership is you'd have to have enough to impeach and convict on the articles of impeachment. Because otherwise there's no way to get rid of Donald Trump legally otherwise. But yes, we should be giving our military better civilian leadership, and we should have never voted for Donald Trump. That much is absolutely clear. But, I'm speaking to the choir on that one. So they came out during the first administration because the people were worried, and I think Mattis said there was a completely different process from when we wake the president at night and when the president is trying to offensively launch something, 2 different processes. Yes. So let's go ahead and pop this back open again, the laptop back open. Let's get this closed and then come over here, because there's a new video from the Department of Defense. They warmongers in the Department of Defense. So, of course, the Western Journal says, "May our Heavenly Father always be with the American warrior," but he's basically turning the Our Father prayer and putting it over our troops, which is horribly ridiculous, because you should not be putting one religion over another in any sort of government capacity. But that's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to put one religion over the rest of them in the military. So here's what Hegseth says, or what they put up there, with Hegseth saying the Our Father, and let's make some commentary on how this whole thing is ridiculous.
If you would bow your head with me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Okay, I mean, it's typical prayer. I mean, that's how it typically starts out, right? That is how it starts off. I mean, I'm Jewish, so, I mean, I could get some things wrong when it comes to Christianity, but I've heard that enough. My joke used to be like, of course, when they say Jesus H. Christ, H stands for Harold, because it's our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But let's continue with the prayer that he's saying. Again, this is over our troops. This is like a commercial over our troops. But let's see what the prayer continues to say and compare it to the actions of this administration, shall we?
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread. Is that what they were using to justify whatever they were feeding people on the USS Abraham Lincoln? Just our daily bread? Just give them the bread. Just let them eat the bread. Not quite let them eat cake, but give us our daily bread. No more, but as long as you have the daily bread, you're fine and you're well fed. These people used to claim to support our troops. They do not.
And forgive us our trespasses.
Forgive us our trespasses. What about the corporation that's trespassing on Greenland, trying to set up oil drilling, despite there being no agreement for that whatsoever, and are trespassing on the sovereign soil of other people's nations for no fucking reason whatsoever, like Iran. There's no reason to attack Iran. We had obliterated their nuclear weapons capabilities, supposedly, but either that was a lie back then or it's a lie now. Hard to pick which one is a lie. I'm sure there's probably a way that Donald Trump could make both of them a lie, because he is the liar and thief. So, but yeah, forgive us our trespasses, except for when we trespass against other people and other nations, right?
We forgive those who trespass against us.
Do we forgive those that trespass against us? Absolutely not. We don't forgive anybody who trespasses against us. We not only are trying to deport, or Donald Trump is trying to deport everybody he can, even people here legally. He's actually deporting people who are, citizens. Like, they're going after the wrong people, and they're also not forgiving anybody who trespasses on our nation. So if you want to see how these religious Reich activists are completely disregarding their own religious scriptures, here you go, right here. One very short example.
And lead us not into temptation.
Well, then you shouldn't have Donald Trump, who cheats on all of his spouses.
But deliver us from evil.
Evil is threatening nuclear weapons against Iran. Evil is threatening to take out the ability of Iran to desalinate their water and to take out their power grid so that people can't live there, make it inhospitable for life, so that, those 93 million people have to either move or are going to end up dead because of your actions. That's evil. So if you, Pete Hegseth, want to deliver us from evil, you can arrest this treasonous president who's giving aid and comfort to the enemy, North Korea. But, you're not going to do that because you're too busy deep-throating his boot and kissing his ass.
We pray. Amen.
And it's amen, not a women, because only men should be serving. Probably what Donald Trump also believes or whatever. But yeah. Isn't that just they're not even trying to be shy about their violations of the Constitution. The conservatives are not even trying to be shy about them using government to proselytize. It's ridiculous. If I was a soldier that was any other religion other than Christian, I would be pissed off. And if I was a soldier who was Christian but who understood that what those soldiers are fighting for, why they serve is to protect our rights, including the First Amendment, which includes the Establishment Clause. If I were a Christian soldier, I'd probably be upset too. But on the Sermon on the Mount, again, I'm Jewish, so I don't necessarily know that I'm going to have this completely correct. But didn't Jesus say in the Sermon on the Mount, "Blessed are the peacemakers"? But instead of, being peacemakers, we have warmongers in this administration. Why? Well, because they invade countries, they threaten military force, and, you know, they renamed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Hegseth insists on calling them so-called war fighters. So it's so absurd. Like, as someone has said in the chat earlier, Jesus, you know, is rolling in his grave, if, you know, but he wasn't in his grave. He wouldn't be rolling it. Well, I guess if you're not Christian, you would think that Jesus is rolling in his grave because you wouldn't believe of the ascension and the 3 days later coming back to life and seeing his shadow and 6 more weeks of, no, that's wrong holiday. I'm sorry. But, you know, if you don't believe, then he may very well be rolling in his grave. But this is absurd, to say the least. Let's see. Jen rolling her eyes. Water Goddess, I know I fucked that part up about Jesus. I'm just picking on you. So, let's get that. Why I keep hitting the wrong button? Keep hitting the button to turn off the chat instead of turn off the laptop. They're
Our
too
Father,
close together.
who art in heaven.
Oh, this is him doing it again. There's another one? Jesus. Captain Kyle Patriots doing the same thing. Anyway, we're done with the Jesus-y stuff. We're done with the military proselytizing. Again, the military should not be proselytizing. All right, so now we don't always criticize the right on this show. You know, we do feel like we need to, you know, kind of give a little pep talk to the people in the country. So I should just get this all ready before I do this. Before I start recording, let me scroll down to here and bring this over here as well. Thank you, Water Goddess. Anyway, so hopefully Speaker Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, said that he was no longer supporting Medicare for all. And progressive leftists are like, what the hell, dude? I mean, I'm just sitting there like, what? I mean, he used to vote for every attempt to vote for Medicare for all. And if this is an example of Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries, did I say the wrong name? Hakeem, if this is the wrong example, if this is let's start over again, because I absolutely fucked that up when I was recording it. And so let's start over again. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said that he no longer supports Medicare for all. And I don't know what he's doing with that. I don't know if he thinks that running towards the center sometime is going to be a magical solution. If he's doing that, then he's listening to the Republicans who are saying that the Democratic Party is going too far to the left and that the centrists aren't going to vote for a Democratic Party that's too far to the left. No, what you have to do is you have to explain, as Speaker of or as somebody who we want to be Speaker of the House, you should be explaining to the centrists why all of these culture war crap that the conservatives keep bringing up are not affecting their day-to-day lives, but the Republican Party is. Donald Trump is. MAGA is. They're cutting medical benefits. They're trying to harm our health and make it easier to have claims denied. They're getting rid of expanded, drug price protection or whatever. Like, you have all of these examples where the Republicans are making decisions, especially under Donald Trump, that are going to harm people by reducing their access to care. And your solution is to listen to the Republicans on their criticisms about some of our candidates who have won primaries, that are basically almost 50-50 down the line, that progressives and leftists were able to come out and get their candidates endorsed. I mean, look, I'm telling the centrists, I've said this before and I'll say it again, to those centrists who want to say, oh, these people are too left, vote blue no matter who. Because even if you don't support Medicare for all, even if you don't support that or support some of the other policies of the leftists and progressives that are winning, there is more that unites us on the left than divides us. And we currently have a major threat to world safety, world peace, and also to the health of this country because, you got frickin' Dr. Brainworm, who's not even a doctor, RFK Jr., making these decisions. They're allowing conspiracy theorists to guide the CDC and Department of Health on all of these types of decisions on vaccinations or whatever. Like, it's mind-numbingly stupid how much we're rejecting science right now. So we need to stick together. And to all you centrists out there, like, when I'm a leftist, I'm a progressive leftist, I support Medicare for all, I support universal basic income, and I was one of the people out there telling leftists, when Biden was running, when Harris was running, you still have to vote blue no matter who, because of the fact that the threat to our nation and the world is Donald John Trump. But I'm going to tell y'all, the centrists as well, vote blue no matter who. Because you need to make sure that we can retake the House, retake the Senate, to put an emergency stop on what this administration is doing, and then hopefully turn that into, a winning strategy for the 2028 presidential election as well. But back to the leftists and the progressive leftists, as I said again, as one of your candidates stated, Al-Sayed, in his primary win, he was like, there's more that unites us than divides. That's why I'm quoting him, kind of quoting Obama. Because, he sounded a lot like Obama when he was talking. But we need to stick together and work together. Because, again, what is worse? Having a Democratic policy that, even if it keeps the status quo, is better than having a situation where the Republicans keep removing health benefits from people who are poor, from people on Medicare, from people on any other sort of government health care plan. Continuing with this garbage is going to harm more people. As Hal Sparks says, if you believe that keeping the status quo is evil, what the Donald Trump administration wants to do is even more evil. And as Hal says, when confronted with the choice between two evils, always choose lesser evil. Now, I would like potential for Hakeem Jeffries to come out and say something to the effect of, look, we're not going to try and implement Medicare for all, but maybe if we have a Democratic president in 2028 and a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate, perhaps we can do something like create the public option. Perhaps we could do something like allow people to, as a test case or whatever, who want to, you can opt into the public option. You can pay, more in taxes to be able to do it. To be able to say, okay, instead of paying my premiums to my employer or to the insurance companies, I'm just going to pay the premiums directly via my taxes to the federal government. And then you'll get to have a bunch of more people getting Medicare or Medicaid or however you want to structure it. And they'll be able to tell everybody else how their care has been, how well they've been taken care of as compared to their previous experiences with private insurers. And then use that as a jumping off point to then say, look, these people are doing much better, are having better health outcomes, they're getting denied for their care more, and they're spending less money for it. So since this is a test that we're showing that the government plan is better than the private plan, then we're going to move to the, the Medicare for all at that point. So that's what he should do, at least. Will he do it? I don't know. Democrats love to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory, and Democrats love to do infighting. I'm just telling both sides of this on the left, between the center, Democrats and the leftist progressives, we need to work together to put a stop to all this bullshit. And all you're doing by not coming out and voting for the candidate who wins the primaries, either the centrists not voting for the leftist or the leftist not voting for the centrists, all you're doing is helping the Republicans, helping our country become more conservative, moving the Overton window over more to the right, and harming the people who will be most at risk from a continued Republican Congress and a continued Republican presidency. It's as simple as that. vote blue no matter who, no matter where you are on the political spectrum, and no matter who that person is that you're voting for and how they compare with you on that spectrum. See, Alyosha says third-party votes and divided Democrats only help MAGA. Pretty much. Although I will say this, that if all of the people that flipped from Bernie to Trump in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan back in 2016, if all of them had just voted for Jill Stein instead of Donald Trump, Hillary would have won. Hillary Clinton would have been our president. Would have been our 45th president. Simple as that. It's all they had to do. But nope, they had to go from Bernie to Trump. Like, I don't understand the mindset of such people, unless they were just simply trolling the Democratic primary, voting for Bernie to try and harm Hillary Clinton anyway. But that didn't work because Hillary Clinton won the primary. So I understand that some people are mad over the actions of the Democratic Party during the 2016 primaries. I'm mad too at some of those folks. Like Debbie Wasserman Schultz and other folks made some poor decisions that I feel made the party look bad. But again, I didn't care who won the Democratic primary in 2016. It could have been Hillary Clinton. It could have been Bernie Sanders. I didn't care who won. Why? Because the most important thing was defeating Donald Trump. And that should still be the most important thing, is defeating him at the ballot box, defeating his endorsed candidates at the ballot box, defeating his measures and executive orders and in the courts, defeating his legislation by electing a Democratic Congress who will stand up to him and say, F you, no. Leave me alone, how can somebody vote for Trump after being for Bernie? I don't know. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me whatsoever. But the problem is that a study was done on like 50,000 voters across those 3 states, and 12% flipped from Bernie to Trump. Those dude bros who were for Bernie or whatever because he was a real populist who then fell for Donald Trump's faux populism, perhaps. Gullible people. People who would be Charlie Brown and still thinking that Lucy was not going to yank the football away at the last second. See, Sunflower Dragon, I don't have copays for appointments and meds on Medicare. Kaiser, ER is a pittance. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have income during the year of the 2021, after the first 3 months of 2021. Actually, from like March of 2021 to April of 2022, I didn't have income. So I had to survive on PPP loans and EIDL loans or whatever. So there was that. But when I went to the healthcare.gov and went to go sign up for a plan and gave my income, it shunted us directly over to Medicaid. And we were on Medicaid for years because even though I had a full-time job, and I told Medicaid, I was like, look, we are making more money. And they're like, well, we're not kicking anybody off of Medicaid while the pandemic is still in effect. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. It saved me a bunch of money back then. And I had hardly any copays for anything. Like there were some medicines that I would have to pay a little bit for, but everything else was covered. Everything else that we needed was absolutely covered. So why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want to fight for that? Why wouldn't you view that as morally superior? Again, hell, was it Bill Cassidy? Was it Bill Cassidy the other day? No, he was talking about I think Bill Cassidy was talking about something with the vaccine choices. Under the vaccine choices, by making you go to 3 different doctor's visits, even though the doctor's visits are preventive care and covered at 100% first dollar, because you have to pay for 3 visits above and beyond the price of the injections, it's going to make everybody's healthcare premiums go up. And I'm like, I said basically the same thing on my show. Maybe Bill Cassidy watches Liberal Dan Radio too. I don't know. I made that exact same point, and I ran for office, never won, but I'm not a, health policy expert. I'm not a doctor, but I know enough about the insurance industry to understand what will happen if you make people go to more visits. Then other people are also making the comments on like some threads or whatever. I don't know if this is about Luigi Mangione or not, but basically questions were being asked about how, or basically people were basically saying that Brian Thompson, the healthcare CEO that was killed by Luigi Mangione, because I think he's admitted it now, he killed more people in his position than Luigi Mangione did. There was one thing I did want to look up, and I completely forgot to look it up. Let's see. Water Goddess, I will look into this. I'm with Dan. I implore our progressive colleagues to just resist their instinct to just hear him out and see why actually considers reason. Insurance companies are integrated in the economy so deeply that if we go to a straight universal and crash those companies, we crash 401ks and IRAs. It's just super complicated, and decoupling is going to have to be a transition, not two borders. If that makes perfect sense. It absolutely makes perfect sense. And it's another reason why I support going for a public option, allow people to opt in, because people will just kind of trickle in and kind of just move in, right? Resist the instinct to cut and run is what you meant to say. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I was going to type this in and I completely forgot to look this. So my question was, my question has been, or that I came up with recently, in any or all states, if you purposefully make a decision that blocks someone who needs health care, like preventing them from going to the ER, what kind of crime could you be charged with? Because that's one of the things that I was kind of interested in looking at too. There are circumstances in which intentionally preventing someone from obtaining necessary medical care can be a crime. The exact charge depends heavily on who is doing the blocking, how they do it, and whether the person is injured or dies, and is the state involved. Let's see. Biggest categories: false imprisonment, unlawful restraint. If someone physically prevents a person from leaving to obtain medical care, prosecutors could potentially use false imprisonment or unlawful restraint statutes. For example, deliberately locking somebody in a room, taking their keys, physically restraining them, or stationing someone at an exit could satisfy elements in some states. If the restraint causes serious injury and death, the consequences can become more serious. Okay, we're not worried about the manner of the restraint. We're worried about the fact that they're not being allowed to get it. Some states specifically criminalize interference with medical care. In Louisiana, Louisiana Revised Statutes 14:332 makes intentional and willful interference with medical personnel performing their duties and caring for a patient to responding to a medical emergency or crime. First offense is a fine. Subsequent offenses can be jail. But that's interfering with the provider. I'm more talking about interfering with the person trying to get there. New York specifically criminalizes intentionally and unreasonably obstructing emergency medical services. Massachusetts, knowingly obstructing entry or departure from a medical facility after notice can result in a fine and or incarceration. So a person physically preventing another person from getting emergency treatment is potentially criminal conduct. A government official creating a policy that makes obtaining treatment difficult is more complicated legal question. But that's not what I'm talking about. But basically my point is that it can be a crime. It can absolutely be considered a crime if I prevent somebody if I block somebody with my physical presence from getting the health care that they need. So why isn't it a crime to prevent people from getting the health care that they need via your job as a healthcare executive or any of the people who are responsible for denying people needed care? We've touched on this before. We'll talk about it probably many more times in the future. It should not be considered any less ethical to kill someone with a pen or with a computer because of the decision being made to stop them from getting life-saving medical care. That should not be any morally or legally different than taking an action that takes somebody's life. Because if they both end up dying, they're dead. And if your decisions caused the death, then you should be able to be held responsible. Why can a healthcare corporation or health profit corporation like United Healthcare be able to deny many people needed care and have people die because of it, and not be killed as a organization, not be killed as a company, just terminate the company altogether? Why is that? Why can't we kill those corporations? Corporations are people, right? They always want to say that corporations are legally people. So if we can legally kill people who are, breathing people who cause death to another person, if you can put somebody to death for causing the death of somebody else purposefully, then you should also be able to have your company at least be put to death and be shuttered if you kill people knowingly and willingly with your decisions too. So Dean Baker says Mangione is justified in my opinion. So there, I don't understand why they didn't go for jury nullification. Why didn't he? I mean, there was playing some sort of game that supposedly that they believed that by pleading to the federal charges that New York's law stops them from charging him statewide or whatever. And so maybe he felt like he was going to get a lesser punishment or risking lesser of a punishment. But I would have absolutely said appeal to the jury. This person, he was so messed up, or even just plead not guilty for reason of insanity because the healthcare issues made them so insane made them crazy. Because I know I haven't even dealt with healthcare decisions that kill people. I've been dealing with healthcare decisions for both me and my spouse on the part of United Healthcare that are absolutely maddening. So, yeah, you just said it, power of the pen and money, yes. And when I said the pen is mightier than the sword, well, absolutely, because the pen can kill many people just by denying a healthcare claim, by denying you the ability to get the needed care. Dean says they killed his mother. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Big Hook says, here's an idea, seeing as how Trump is going to make all elderly homeless by taking away Social Security and housing. Shoot ICE agents and get a life sentence and get 3 meals in a bed for life. I'm not saying you should do that, but Big Hook says that. I mean, and the new head of the Department of Justice, Todd Blanche, is basically saying that if anybody touches a ICE agent inappropriately,
oh my,
that they're going to give them severe penalties under the law. Well, but this is just amazing hypocrisy on the part of the Trump administration, who pardoned people who attacked police. If they didn't pardon the people that attacked the police and pardon the people who just maybe took an item or was vandalizing or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't be happy with it, but at least they wouldn't be hypocritical now. But don't tell other people that they're not allowed to assault the police, assault federal law enforcement. Well, that's what the J6ers did. They attacked law enforcement. Those who did should have never been pardoned, but Trump pardoned him. So fuck y'all and your back the blue bullshit, because it's all hypocrisy. Y'all only back the blue when the blue is killing black people. Otherwise, you couldn't care less about the blue. See, H. Water Goddess also said most of the universal healthcare systems either cover only a few million people and they transited from the crown, taking care of the subjects, so the state was much easier to transition. We will get there. I know we will. Just so much more of an appetite for a more universal system. Those insurance companies need to be broken up like Standard Oil was. Yes. See, Catherine's doobie-doobie-doo. Doobie-doobie-doo. On a macro level, it should be obvious of medical malpractice, injury, neglect. However, proving such things are extremely difficult because so many people involved in a patient's life. There's that, and there's also the fact that in some states, if you want to go after like Louisiana, for example, if you want to get a claim, go sue somebody over medical malpractice, you first have to put the case in front of a medical review board. The medical review board takes a look at the facts and will say yes or no. Say, is this is this a case that, is where malpractice happened, and it's 3 doctors. And normally what happens, and a lot of the times that I've heard of, at least, and in one of our cases as well, is that the board protected the doctors who absolutely did wrong. Because they're only going to allow the most egregious folks to go to trial or to be civilly sued. So that, I guess, they didn't feel that our case was egregious enough, so they told the Ochsner Health System, we're not gonna hold you responsible for it. Now, if the medical review board says yes, most likely the hospital's going to settle. If the medical review board says no, you can still sue. It doesn't prohibit you from suing, but most attorneys will be like, okay, well, I'll bring the suit only if you put up like 20 grand to cover the cost of the case. And who can afford to do that? I would have loved to have done it. I thought we had a point, but who would have, no one's usually is going to be able to shell out 20 grand just to put up for a case. And then you lose and you're fucked. So all of these laws that exist, that are supposedly to stop litigiousness or whatever, all it does is harm people who are harmed by the medical industry, by the health industry, and protect the bad actors in the health industry, at least many of them, if not all of them. So, human F being, good to see you, human F being. Won't life be awesome when we don't have to decide for ourselves anymore what is or what is not appropriate? Thanks, MAGA. Thinking for myself is just too hard. Yeah. Steven Sayers, yes, Back the Blue is just a slogan to them. Yes, it's a meaningless slogan. So, see, some of them get elected into office, like Rick Scott, resigned in 1997 after federal agents raided his company over Medicare and Medicaid fraud. Yep. Susie says, my mom was getting a pattern, and I sat down another sales lady. Are you interested in buying that machine today? I made sure my mom wasn't looking and said, how much? $14,000. Damn. Let's see what else. Bald Thanos says, breaking news, Tom Holland releases new non-alcoholic brew. I heard about that, I think sometime last week or whatever. Suzanne goes, I love Canada more and more. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. I don't have the whole thing memorized. I just know the tune. So, yeah, Joseph, last 2 CEOs of United Healthcare are billionaires. And that's the thing. You need to have real people in these jobs because they can understand the plight. Or there should at least be a review board that reviews these decisions to make it easier for these people. And not just a kiss your ass review board, but an actual review board that can come in and say, you know what? This is bullshit. Play house song. This is some bullshit. Spider-Man would be better off promoting salad dressing. What, like ranch, like shooting from his like web shooters, ranch shooters? Anyway. Let's go ahead. We weren't going to have too long of a show yet. We've still got 88 viewers or whatever, so we can let's keep the calls short before I go ahead and have to actually open up the phone lines to do so. There we go. That's the right button. Turn off Do Not Disturb. We are now receiving calls. So if you want to call, 562-542-3261. That's 562-LIBDAN1. 562-LIBDAN1. Yeah, if you want to call in, please make sure to do so. If somebody else is already on the line, don't also call in because we'll just hear you're trying to beep in. Wait for the next person to get off before you get on again. And we'll go from there. Bald Thanos also says Spider-Man does promote salad dressing. It's called hollandaise sauce. Very good. Good to see you, the Rantler. Hey, Tim. Good to see you as well. Anybody else who I potentially missed, I do apologize. I try and get to everybody, but sometimes I can't. So again, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. Cool. We'll talk. No big whoop. It's not 555-44444 like Coffee Talk with Paul Baldwin or Linda Richmond from back in the day, Saturday Night Live. So let's see what else. Man, I was watching something on MS Now the other day or whatever. They were talking about a bunch of these Republican, alternate media types. And there's one person who quit his job as an attorney. I forget the guy's name, but he quit his job as an attorney to just do streaming full time about politics. And like half the time he spends just reading people's super chats. And people are super chatting like $100, $200, it's just spending whole shows doing that. I mean, damn, I could do this full time too if people were super chatting me all the time. If I had 17 different people super chatting me all that much during the day, right? I have seen it. I've seen it on the Whatever podcast and some of the other ones. The people who are shitheads who want to have their words robotically said on the stream, they'll tip $100 or something, and then they'll read some horrible comment made by some incel MGTOW idiot living in his parents' basement. So, but hell, there was another one. I forget what organization it was, but somebody super chatted $2,000 or something on something I was watching. I'm like, these people don't need that super chat. Why are you paying $2,000 for a super chat? It's bizarre. So, it wasn't legal. I do like legal, but it was somebody else. It was a more conservative person. I think legal is legal the one that I'm thinking of. It could be. Let me check that. Hey, Chad. Thank you for the $10. Appreciate you. Let's see. Let's just check out YouTube and just see while we're waiting for somebody to call in. Again, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 542-3261. Yeah, Legal Eagle is one I've watched a lot of videos on. I think he has some really good contact, and he's on the left, clearly. The other side, these are more conservative type folks who just sit there and just be like, oh my God. So let's see. I can't. All right, let's see. Let's put the thing up there with Donald Trump calling him Pee Wee Herman. We'll have to turn that back on, and then turn that back on, and then you don't need to see the Twitch chat twice. 250 kilo. Then you'd have 17 super chatters and 17 in the chat. Nice.
John Ossoff said you'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, John Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation, the Oval Office, and it was let go. The whole building, the White House, was let go. The exteriors were falling apart. The columns were falling apart. The whole place.
Yeah, I'm sure you're completely telling the truth there, old Donnie boy. It's ridiculous. Why anybody would believe you on anything you say anymore is just beyond me. So, and John Ossoff in no way looks like Pee Wee Herman. I don't know if you can how you can connect the dots that way. Speaking of connect the dots, connect the dots. Anyway, that's my Pee Wee. That's my Pee Wee impression. Yes, John Ossoff's speech was absolutely hilarious. Let's turn that back off just in case somebody calls in. Pee Wee Hussein Herman, have you heard of him? Nice. Yeah, exactly. Satin flower dyeing does not look any Satan. I said Satan. Ridiculous. He is just dying, crossing my fingers, to tear down the White House. Yeah, I mean, he probably would tear it all down and turn it into, like, you know, a place that you'd see on Cribs. Again, for that room he was in right there, all you probably need is a big screen TV and a copy of Scarface, and then you'd have MTV Cribs right there. So it's funny that he got the memo that it wasn't Pinky Herman. Yeah, the panning around is epic. Yeah, exactly. Like, let's look at all of this gaudy shit that you put up here in the White House because you're a tacky, trashy piece of crap. Like, if Donald Trump wasn't born to Fred Trump, who was already rich, like, he would have been living in a trailer park somewhere. He would have been flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. Cheeseburgers. Not that there's anything wrong with working at McDonald's, but that's what he would have been doing. He wouldn't have been a businessman. He wouldn't have been able to scam a bunch of people out of their money. He wouldn't have been able to do, you know, any of the bullshit that he's done. He would have never become president. There we go. There's a call. We do have Big Hook. Good to hear from you, Big Hook. How are you today? You got a bigger audience today. So what's going on? What's happening?
Oh, not much. I just figured I'd check in and see what. Are you still roasting marshmallows over the fire that you guys are living under?
Not quite yet. Marshmallows are getting too expensive with all the prices of everything going up.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. It's I don't know how you guys can put up with this stuff, and you guys need to have some sort of an emergency measure where you can just basically say, you know, this has got to come to an end, because I mean, that's the thing. You guys have rigged the system so that way, you know, either via filibuster or, you know, to impeach as well as to remove, to whatever. Oh, but we have high, super duper standards. And it's like, and it allows the idiots to maintain power and, you know, break the law endlessly and leave everyone else with no legal recourse to be able to stop it, you know, and that's just it. You guys, I don't know how to say it politely, but you guys live in a lawless society. Yep. You now suffer from tyranny through local law enforcement in your states, and now you face tyranny from ICE in your states. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say anymore. You guys, how you guys put up with it is beyond me. I mean, what do you do? What do I say? I can't pretend that it's not happening. You know, there's evidence every single day of stuff that you guys need to fix. And that's the thing. It's, you know, the rest of the world looks onto you and says, you guys claim to be Superman, but you don't do anything to fix your own problems.
Well, I mean, look at what happened with Nixon. Like when Nixon was president, he resigned because the Republicans in Congress were like, if you do not resign, we are going to impeach you. The Republicans back then were willing to get rid of their own. Democrats are willing to get rid of their own. But now, party loyalty is more important than loyalty to your nation. Party loyalty is more important than doing the right thing. So it's the Republicans who have corrupted the system that was supposed to work with people who are public servants, who are trying to do. Now, there are always crooks and criminals, whatever, in politics. There are always people who are looking out for themselves. But at the end of the day, they probably knew that if they didn't act, that they would lose their job. Now, because of gerrymandering, because of all the other bullshit that happens electorally, they know that if they don't support the president, they will lose their job. So they have to be loyal to the man, such that he is, instead of being loyal to the country that they supposedly swore an oath to. So And yes, Water
Yeah,
Goddess.
but that's just
and yeah,
it.
hold on.
There
Yes,
hasn't been...
Water Goddess said this guy must be Canadian. Good evening, sir. I'm like, yes, he is Canadian. There you go.
But here's the thing, okay? You guys haven't handed out any accountability. And then the other problem is that now the pardon power of the president is being abused, and that's just it. I mean, you guys have created a system where criminality, if it comes from the top, is allowed to run endlessly across the whole fucking country. And that's just it. You know, that's what has occurred. You got the people that vote Republican said, I want to live in the Wild West, and I want to be able to say whatever I want to say, whether it be an N word or an R word or a whatever word, and you know, I want to start shit and finish it, you know, because I'm incapable of actually doing anything properly, and I deserve my birthday present, you know, and Donald Trump is my birthday present because he'll allow all kinds of bullshit, and I'm not smart enough to figure out how he does it all. You know, and I mean, this is the shit that we have to deal with.
Yep.
You know?
And the world has to deal with it because, you know, he's destabilizing not just us, but everybody. You know, maybe less so, you know, some nations who can take care of themselves mostly, but still, America is big enough of an economic powerhouse. When we do stupid shit, it has reverberations across the planet. So.
But, you know, I mean, that's it. You guys have aircraft carriers that can't feed themselves or, you know, that are breaking down because, you know, and you look at all that money that has been pumped into the military and then all the horrible decisions made by idiots who never could get up in rank or hold a military commission because guess what? They're idiots. And this is everybody that you currently have in charge right now. You got real estate bros running international relations. I mean, like, fuck off. You know,
we'll
like,
say people doing international relations. You got an environmental lawyer or whatever running the Department of Health. Back during his first term, he had a brain surgeon running HUD. Like, the people who are supposed to run these things are not qualified or skilled in any way possible to do this. They're only qualified to help Donald Trump continue his grift, continue his con, and to keep screwing over the American people and the world. And not enough people on the right have broken themselves away from the cult like people like MTG and others have. But again, it's too few at this point to be able to, you know, have any faith that they're going to be able to do it, which is why we need all hands on deck from the rest of us to be able to stand together and be like, look, if it means voting for some...
You've got 90 million people who don't fucking vote that are qualified to vote and refuse to do the right thing because guess what? Everybody's playing, how do I survive? You know, it's like a game of musical chairs. Oh, if I vote, I might miss a day of work and then I can't afford to feed my family. You know what I mean? That's the stupidity of the whole thing. You guys should have a national day holiday for voting. You know, I mean, you know, you can't even fucking do that. You know, I mean, the simplest solutions you can't fucking do. Why? Because the GOP says, oh, well, that would be costly and would require taxes that we already waste on the military, you know, to the tune of 10 times more than any other nation in the world. You know, and I mean, that's just it. Vote back the blue. Bullshit. Back the military. Bullshit. You know, all they do is serve their corporate masters who basically, you know, are making money hand over fist at the expense of other people's lives. And, you know, I mean, you can have a good salary. You can have let's say a nurse who's making $80,000 a year and a teacher making $60,000 a year, and they cannot fucking make it on the budget. That was Politic Girls latest installment in videos. You know, that this stuff doesn't work, you know, and that's just it. These are necessary professions that are, you know, are there to, you know, to teach as well as serve the nation and on their needs. And that's just it. Like, you guys have lost the plot to everything.
But instead, we got Donald Trump, who is more concerned with selling access to government information. And I sure hope to God that lawsuit is successful and they're able to shut down that bullshit from Truth Social or whatever, so that people can buy into it. And I hope the people just wasted their money doing that bullshit. But it's ridiculous. Anyway, I want to keep the phone lines open for other people. So last word before I let you go.
No worries. I'm sorry about my last post there that I made you read out loud. But the thing is that that's the insanity that you guys are facing. And that's the thing. What are you going to do when all the senior citizens become homeless and are out there wandering the streets? And what's he going to do? He's going to have them all locked up for being homeless when they did nothing wrong. You know?
That's exactly what Louisiana's doing right now. They've made it illegal to camp outside of campgrounds, and as such, if you're sleeping on the street, you know, camping, they're going to be able to arrest you now. It's 100% sick and gross. It's just like the people that put, like, you know, things on chairs, so that on public benches, so you can't lay down on them, or little, you know, 3D pyramids on, you know, under bridges, so that nobody can lay there comfortably. It's just sick.
Because the rich don't want to look at the poor people that they put out there. That's the thing.
Shove them under
the
the
rich
rug.
Don't want to view the poor people that they made poor.
Right, exactly. Because as Donald Trump, you know, didn't get object permanence.
They must not exist.
I'm playing the song right now.
Anyway, all right. Well, I'll let someone else gripe at you for a bit. Anyway, have a good one, guys. All right.
Have a good one, Big Hook. Bye. Anyway, that was Big Hook. Thank you so much for calling in. Good to see you, Trucker John, in the chat. Nice to see you. 562-LibDan1, 562-LibDan1, 562-542-3261. If you do want to call in. And there's Susie right there calling in. Hold on.
It's Susie.
Hey, Susie, what's going on? Let's see.
I was just going to say that I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And the time that you take to talk with us. And, yeah, what you were reading, the comment is 14K in the chat. My mom just gave my sister her sewing machine.
Oh, okay.
And it's no big deal to me because I don't sew. But that machine, it was 14K when she bought it new. And I'm just like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I could have a car and insurance for years for that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just really, really grateful that this community and Hal and everybody's out there, because I don't know what I'd do without you. You guys are my concentration to get through my daily life without just wanting to, you know, jump. It's crazy, but
I mean, the Sparkler community is a great community, and I especially love the ones who are also Danimals. So thank you, everybody, for creating such a good community so far. And, you know, it says a lot for, you know, just how we're just, you know, we see each other all over the place, and most of us get along really well together. So look, I'm glad I could give a little bit of a voice to people.
I'm not any different than anybody else in the chat just because I happen to be green or blue or black and white somewhere. I'm just another person. I don't have any, how do you put it? I know that it keeps the chat safe for people, and I see a lot of things that people don't see as a moderator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know, I was shocked at first what some people can say. I just really don't get the magatards out there that want to come in and call people the C word and say, oh, cut your hair, or I don't like your mustache. And
let me interrupt you just for a brief second. I would rather you say cunt than say the T word. So just,
yeah.
I'd rather you just say cunt out loud and not use TARD as a slur. So just saying that.
Yeah. Okay, you don't want to. Well, my last name when I was growing up was Millard.
Mm-hmm.
So ARD doesn't meet, it doesn't. I actually have a very special friend, my mom's best friend, who I was named after. Her son was born with birth defects, and he was considered a mongoloid, if that's what people called it back then. I don't know the special word for it. But Scotty was the best guy ever. And, his 54 years that he spent with us, I couldn't have known a kinder, more gentler soul. And so when people use the R word, I have a problem.
Right. So I just don't like MAGA, whatever, lib, whatever. The TARD is the problem. Is combining that. I don't like that on my show. I don't let that happen on my Facebook feed. Now sometimes over on I have a hard time moderating all of the comments that I've been getting on the Liberal Dan Facebook page. There's actually a video on the Liberal Dan, not the Liberal Dan Radio Facebook, but Liberal Dan Facebook page. There's a comment that has there's a video that has over 2,000 comments. I'm like, how the hell is this happening? And why can't this be happening on YouTube?
Right. I rarely ever go to Facebook anymore, just to see pictures of the grandkids. That's it. But anyway, I was just saying, I'm just like anybody else. I have feelings, and I get my feelings hurt, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I just know that I do the best I can to make it okay for people to be in chat and have it safe, and them not having to see what you just were saying, them not having to see those words.
Right.
But
all right. Well, thank you so much, Susie, for calling in. I appreciate you as well. Hope you have a great rest of your night. And have a good one. We're going to open up someone else is trying to call in too, so let's let that other person try and call back in. All right, have a good one. Peace out. Bye. All right, there you go. There was Susie calling in. I think it was maybe Roxanne who was going to call in. But you can, phone lines are back open. 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261. So, yeah, it was... sewing machine wise, we found one, my mother-in-law had one, and it's an old one from the early 1900s, 1915 or whatever. I think we could probably, if somebody local wanted to buy it from us, it could potentially go for as high as maybe $500 or more. I don't know. It's crazy. But oh wait. Atrocious Every Game says, keyboard is shitty, so I won't be chatting. Man, that sucks. Can you imagine if, oh, wait, hold on. Hold that farmed comment. Hey, Alyosher, what's going on? I have to play a little short audio real quick because Atrocious at Every Game says keyboard is shitty. I won't be chatting. Can you imagine what would have happened if Biden had a shitty keyboard?
Oh God!
Gotta play the song.
So no jingle. Okay.
Well, you don't hear it. Hold on. Anyway, so yeah, for some reason I haven't been able to figure out how to make sure that you calling into the Google Voice can still hear all the other sounds that play on the computer. One day I think there's something called virtual audio cables that I can try and figure out how to do. But at this point it's not a top priority for the show. So sometimes
right, but I mean, people forget too that even though computers are great when they work, if something goes wrong or if there's a short or a fault that develops,
right,
then you will have extra work. Plus, if it's too many, then it'll break it technically will break the concentration of the caller and the listener as well. So sometimes that's all right. I'm actually trying to do an infographic now. It's so funny that the AI actually scolded me and said, just remind people not to divide the vote. Don't bring anything else into it. It's so funny that I had to teach the AI that, Trump was mean to people and women reporters and all that. And it's so funny. I have it saved somewhere that it didn't understand that Trump was saying quiet piggy and all this other junk, that he should be fined or he should be, banned from talking for a whole week just for saying that nonsense.
Right.
And it was so funny when it took like the AI like 20 minutes. And then when it realized that, it can't really respect Trump, it almost said like the next 10 memes or the next 10 files are on the house, and I was laughing. I was like, huh. So I taught the AI to be anti-Trump. I hope it doesn't go pro-Trump. But it was so funny that it was like the minute that it realized that I wasn't making up, how he treats women reporters and how long the AI took, it was like searching, across the screen doing the progress wheel or whatever, that it was searching it, that it was so funny that the minute it realized that it wasn't a meme and it wasn't a joke and all that, it was like furious. It was like, what the hell? So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that's right. So I'm trying, and they're still getting some, exposure, like I said. But yeah, it's tough to do sometimes. And the AI, if you do more than 40 words, guarantee it'll mess it up. Guaranteed. It will rarely keep it straight unless it's like fourth grade English. I don't know why.
Yeah, probably.
But
I do have on the screen right now, I
yeah.
did find an image of John Ossoff and Pee Wee Herman just to show how they absolutely do not look like one another. 100%
Yeah, that doesn't
do
make
not
any
look.
sense to me.
Yeah, because well, he's an
What
idiot.
is he trying to
Trump's an
say? Is he trying to say they're geeky or something? Is that
I
what it is?
guess I don't know, but geeks are cool. Geeks are now cool.
Yeah.
The geeks of the world unite. So
Right. Yeah. Geeks and nerds are cool. Yeah, but again, we know that Trump is stuck in the 1980s.
yeah,
So what was cool? What was the only cool movie with nerds back then? What? Maybe War Games and Revenge of the Nerds, right?
yeah. War Games and
So
Adventures, I
he-
guess maybe
yeah.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure, maybe as well. I mean, people did like
Yeah,
that.
maybe.
Someone in chat
Yeah.
was 250 kilo and was very impressed with that. I was able to quote, "I'm a loner, daddy, a rebel." So.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 'cause-
Unfortunately, I'm not in the best voice tonight. I would love to do that, but I'm not in the best voice tonight to do that catchphrase. Anyway, let me let you go.
all right,
Hopefully you like the infographics, but let me
Yeah.
let you go.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a
Have a
lot.
good one,
Bye.
man. Bye. All right, that was Ali Osher. Again, lines are still open. 562 LibDan1, 562 LibDan1, 562 542 3261. Blessed are the geeks, and the geeks shall inherit the earth. Anyway, the parodying Rush with one of the, I think that's from 2112. Yes, there you go. I see. I said it. I said it before you typed it. CRL 3232. I cannot wait to go see them in November, like the Sunday before Thanksgiving. I'm going to see them in Charlotte. So, on my way up to Maryland to go visit my family for the first time in forever. That long ass drive. The worst part of that drive, by the way, is if they send you the way through like Western Maryland instead of cutting up through DC. The worst part about that drive is Virginia. Because, like, you get to Virginia, and then you have 6 hours left in Virginia because, you have to go just diagonal. The diagonal all the way up this... I guess you would probably see it from this way. The diagonal all the way up from, like, the tippy corner of the state in Bristol, Virginia, all the way up into West Virginia. all the way up the border, up, I was at I-81, I think it is, which is also partly US 11. It was also very interesting. Some of y'all might not have been when I've talked about this before, but it was really interesting because there is actually a website devoted to the Route 11, talking about the historical thing of it, because Route 11, because like there's all these roads. There's like Interstate 10, Interstate 59, Interstate 20, Interstate 70 something, like Interstate 81, and all of these combined interstates go along with Route 81. I don't know why they didn't just make Route 81, I think it is. It goes all the way, 11, it's Highway 11, that's what it is. Highway 11 goes up by 81 and all the other ones, and so there's a website dedicated to that, and it sounded a lot like, what happened to Radiator Springs in the town cars, where they built the expressway where people just were bypassing the cars town, and as such they started becoming less economically feasible, I guess, to be there. And the same thing happened to a lot of these places that were all along Highway 11 on this path that takes you from New Orleans all the way up to like Canada. So it's just an interesting thing, because I was just like, because I was just always, once I figured out that the route that we were going on, it was always next to Highway 11, I'd just be like, that's kind of weird. But anyway, wait, what did Orb Rumor was saying? That was an episode of King of the Hill when Bobby and Joseph took home ec. Then Bobby was going to do the powder puff football, and Hank saw Bobby's cheerleader uniform and said, "Huh, there better be a naked cheerleader under that bed. What in the hell?" Anyway, good to see you, Darkly Yours. Yes, Radiator Springs and Cars is basically based off of Route 66. Yes, because it was Interstate 66 or whatever that went across. But yeah, it's the same thing happened to Highway 11. Once they turned everything into interstates. So 250 kilo. I think I've driven that stretch in Virginia listening to AM radio preachers. I mean, thank goodness I had Sirius XM, because holy crap, some of that is just, it's so horrible. You're into it's not at, like, the road when we go from New Orleans to Georgia, like the Alabama part is frustrating. And like when we go to Disney World, we haven't been to Disney World in years at this point, but when you go to Disney World, once you hit the Panhandle, it's just like, ugh, because you hit the Florida Panhandle, because you get out of Louisiana, it's like less than an hour to get out of Louisiana. It's about maybe 50 to 60 minutes to get through Mississippi, the little bottom part of Mississippi. Less than about 50, 60 minutes to get through Alabama. And then you hit the Panhandle, and it's like, ugh, until you get to Lake City. So again, Liberal Dan Radio, talk from left, that's right, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, live here on YouTube and on Twitch, liberaldanradio.com or twitch.liberaldanradio.com. Make sure to subscribe if you've not done so, share videos, comment on videos, help the algorithm, because again, Al Gore needs more rhythm. All sorts of different ways to support the show. You can Venmo, Liberal Dan on Venmo, go to buymeacoffee.com/liberaldanradio, or just go to liberaldan.com, click the Buy Me Cider button. You can support that way. Super chat, super stickers, gift subscriptions, and memberships on Twitch and YouTube, whatever. But again, most important thing is to help the algorithm out. Make sure, put some long comments, interact with the idiots who do like to come on the comments from time to time, and get the word out there. Help the show grow. Maybe I might be able to hit $3,000 at the end of the year. I don't know. I'm still only about at 1,800 at this point, and I've still got 4 months left in the year. So I probably won't make it to $3,000 unless I do something that becomes viral. I just don't know how to do that yet. So Water Guy, sorry, my daughter woke me up. Her monthly bill to Mother Nature showed up, and she's hurting, and she needed a heating pad. Mine never is awful at her age. She looks miserable. Sorry for oversharing. Very sorry about Aunt Flo coming to town and being aggravating. I told look, I type shit all the time that I mean to type, and I know I type the right thing, and then I go back and look at the post that I make, and it's completely worded wrong, and I'm like, I'm convinced the computers think that they're smarter than us, and they try and reword it. It's annoying. So See, there's a town, Mike says, there's a town in upstate New York called Parksville along Route 17 on the way up to my mom and between Liberty and Roscoe. And then they build the expanded throughway. Parksville is now a ghost town. Yep, that happens. So I'm going to pin the comment Jolie left about put user in timeout. No. Replace pin message. Yes. So that's the Liberal Dan merch link is there. The Fourth Wall, Liberal Dan Radio /shop at fourth.fourthwall.com. And you can buy the Al Gore Needs More Rhythm shirt. You can buy an FDT. You can buy the Man of La Maga shirt that goes along with how Trump hates windmills. All that fun stuff. Water Goddess, thank you for understanding. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it's a natural process, and people shouldn't be so icked out about it. I mean, you know, there are some people who are a little bit overly non-inked about it, I guess, but, you know, like the whole idea that, like, men don't want to, like, won't go buy a tampon or a maxi pad or something. Like, one of the things that they did for the hazing as part of my, you know, ritual for Hell Week or whatever, was we had to go to the drugstore and buy maxi pads. And in my 6-member pledge class, I was the only one who was be like, this is not a big deal. I went in, I got got 2 boxes of them or whatever, checked them out. We left. I'm like, I don't understand what the big deal is. It's just a maxi pad. Now, I mean, when I was younger, we did do some pranks or whatever, but still, yeah, it's not something to, you know, be horrified about. So, Roxanne says, I got kicked out of YouTube altogether just then. Wow. Must not have liked you. I don't know. I happened to be actually during the show. I wasn't kicked out of YouTube, but I had to prove who I said I was and then use a QR code to still do that. So who the hell knows? We've sent Grandpa to get Midol cramps and bloating. Grandpa clutch play at the end. Nice. The funny thing is that I do like the one comedian's joke that was like, what happens if a guy takes a Midol? Does it get very confused? Like, you know, I have no idea where to go. Like, how does the Midol know how to fix the cramping pain over the other headache pain or whatever? So, Steven Sayers, I'm saving every penny to a Truth Social Insider early post from Trump. What could go wrong? Famous last words, right? So, all right, it does not appear that anybody else is calling in. So, we're going to probably go ahead and end the show right now. I've talked about all the things I want to talk about, added a couple of more things as well. But thank you all so much. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you haven't liked or subscribed, because we have 66 likes and 85 concurrent viewers, so I know some of y'all haven't hit the like button. So if y'all haven't done so, please make sure to help the algorithm like that. Al Gore needs more rhythm. And we will be back here. I haven't decided. I may stream from Nerdy Dan on Twitch. I don't know if I'll stream on YouTube, but I'll stream nerdydan.com on Twitch. If you want to join me over there tomorrow, it's the final, like, playing with my kids or whatever. You know, it's my final week in this particular season of Fortnite or whatever. We're trying to just gather a bunch of things. So if you want to join me and just hang out and chat whilst I'm playing, it could be sometime tomorrow. It'll probably be sometime tomorrow in the evening, maybe around the same normal start time. I don't know. However, until then, I do want to thank everybody for being here and supporting the show in all of the different ways that you do. And we will see you. If we don't see you tomorrow, we'll see you Wednesday for the shortened show, and then Liberal Dan After Dark, where you can watch me imbibe some things. Hey, JD Christie, 6 months as a Liberal Danimal. Thank you so much. So again, thank y'all. Appreciate everybody for supporting the show. You have a great one. We'll hear some music as normal as we head out the door. And
this just in. A sudden spike in logic levels across the city. Citizens report seeing a man with glasses and a podcast mic. We go now live to Liberal Dan.
you gonna call when Nazi writings on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, cause you know we got a plan. The right wing talking shit, but he ain't about to quit. He'll take his proton pack and zap your logic cause it's whack. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall.
It's being reported that Liberal Dan is setting up what appears to be some sort of straw man containment field.
He's calling out your lies with his mic vaporized. Cross the streams in your dreams, bitch, you know that he's too wise. You're like Slimer talking crap, but you walked into his trap. Yo, it's more than entertainment, it's misinformation contained. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. The Statue of Liberty, the writing you can see. So bring the huddled masses, it's a war of the classes. While Trump may think he's Vigo, Dan can cut through that ego. He's got the facts to prove him wrong, got that logic like Egon. Your logic is a ghost, cause you know this chick is toast. When you follow MTG, it's conspiracy, you'll see. There's no need to taser, he's got wit like Occam's razor. Liberal Dan cuts those lies with his Jewish-based laser.
It's unbelievable. Liberal Dan just used the literal dog whistle to lure a large group of internet trolls into what is being called a self-collapsing rhetoric singularity. In all my years of reporting, I've never seen anything like this.
So don't call to be a heckler, you ain't no Judge Rexler. He'll bust you like Scolary, cause your logic's looking hairy. Right-wing callers think they're cool, but they sounding just like Zool. You the dog, he the man, and yo, his name is Liberal Dan. So who you gonna call when the writing's on the wall? Call your man Liberal Dan, and the rhetoric will fall. Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan, Liberal Dan.
Trump piled debt, trillions tall, promised Mexico would fund that wall. Praised dictators, said they're strong. Had Joe done it, they'd say he's wrong. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, poll numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, that screen fell play. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Go through crises, storms, and more. Called soldiers losers who died in war. Hire his kids to run DC. If it was Hunter, they'd scream treachery. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, poll numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, Fox News would say our day. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Love Kim Jong-un, he wrote love letters that take the guns first, lose those rights forever. Signed you spending bills with glee. Had Joe done that, it'd be tyranny. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, poll numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they shall look today. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Kept secret files, countless untold. Said Putin's word was good as gold. Invited the Taliban to come to U.S. soil. If Joe had done that, they'd all recoil. Had Biden done it, MAGA would flip. Had Biden done it, poll numbers would slip. Had Biden done it, they'd want him to pay. But Trump did it, so it must be okay. Double standards loud and clear. Rules for Trump.
images, pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten, hung in a hallway where no door can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, object permanence, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. Stop the testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list, an administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Of documents stacked floor to the wall, top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed, but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Encampments downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't meet. Hide them away so the cameras can't find. The proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A payout in secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag, cause he was much shorter. It must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist.
Gather round everyone and I'll tell you a tale about an orange-faced buffoon who should be in a jail. When people say he's done something that goes beyond the pale, he will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, to say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronted with the truth, you'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted
creative director at WGSO. Had a little something he thought you should know. When Dan picked on his bits, Steve got real gruff. So Steve called Dan a flake, called him liberal dandruff. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest. Steve's about to find out his mistake. In this feud, Dan's Kendrick, Steve is Drake. Dan might not be the world's best singer, but he's got more talent in his little finger. Steve thinks that his lines are really clever, but when do people ever like him? Never. Liberal Dan's got better lyrics, this is true. Listen and you'll feel like I do. Liberal Dan, his show is great. Liberal Dan, he goes live at 8. Liberal Dan radio, it's the best, cause Liberal Dan's head and shoulders above the rest.